Well, this is meant to be a federal freeze on federal spending on grants, loans, and other assistance, or a pause, as the White House calls it. And it was meant to go into effect at 5 p.m. local time on Tuesday. Well, just moments before that was due to happen, a federal judge blocked that order, staying it over until Monday. Now, there is actually confusion over what exactly would be covered. The White House says that this move won't affect people receiving state-funded medical insurance program like Medicare or Social Security payments, but charities and educators who were going to be impacted by this most likely were slightly confused about what was actually going to what was going to be affected. There's also an argument on Capitol Hill over whether this is a power only Congress possesses, because these spending bills are appropriated by Congress, but the White House says it's entirely within the president's remit to be able to cover this. That was something that Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary of the White House, defended in her first ever press briefing today. She said that the administration are being, quote, good stewards for tax dollars, and she said that this was a, quote, very reasonable measure, but still some confusion still lingering, and we're waiting now to see what happens on Monday as to whether this will actually get implemented or not.
In other Trump news, Fraser, an offer of 8 months' pay to millions of federal employees if they quit their jobs by the start of February. What's that about?
Yeah, if you think back to last week, one of the executive orders that Donald Trump signed was ordering everybody from the federal workforce to come back to the government. A lot of them still working from home or remotely after COVID. Well, that then would be the end of remote working. And Donald Trump and his administration sent an email to nearly all of the 2 million federal workers and offered them to take an 8-month severance package if they didn't come back to the office, if they didn't want to come back to the office. Well, now, certain employees of the government did not receive this offer. That includes postal workers, members of the military, immigration officials, and some national security workers as well. These people were told to reply to the email with the word resign, which echoes something similar that was sent out to Twitter employees in 2022 by Elon Musk. Now, Trump expects 10% of these people, these 2 million people, to accept this, and says that the buyout could save the government $100 billion. And also, more tellingly, Stephen Miller, who's the White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, said that the government's 2 million workers were, quote, overwhelmingly left of centre, adding that it was, quote, essential for Trump to get a control of the government. Now, when you couple that with the fact that Trump has said that he wants to trim the fat from the government and also implemented a 90-day freeze on federal hiring, some of Donald Trump's critics are saying that he's doing this in order to reform the government in his own image. And one of the things that he could use to do that comes from the Heritage Foundation, which is a conservative think tank here in Washington. You might know them from their controversial Project 2025. That was meant to be a blueprint that Donald Trump could use to overhaul the US government. Well, they did collect a database of conservative workers that Donald Trump could potentially dip into if the hiring freeze is lifted in 90 days. And he does indeed continue to replace those workers who have taken this severance package option.